For today's lecture, I have been assigned the topic on gender evaluation, gender evolution in gender studies, particularly the core concept of gender evolution I have been assigned. So I am going to take up this topic before you. As you know that since a long time, it has passed centuries and centuries that women class are being exploited by the patriarchal systems, not only in India but all over the world. Gender studies includes all kinds of feminine studies, women studies, or all types of discrimination on the basis of gender. So gender studies includes a broad spectrum that I have taken today, and its chronological progress in the field of its movement, because gender studies today, in particularly in the postmodern age, postmodern era, it has become very important field of research, field of education, but it has its long history since a pretty long time, since the time of the ancient period when the first man and woman were born in this world. So I have to focus on gender, and by the way of discussing gender, naturally the women studies, the studies of man and women, because the life itself has to establish equilibrium between man and woman. Women plays important part in our life. She is an integral part of our civilization, but she has been exploited in the same way since the time. But just I am referring to the historical movement for the rights of the women in this world, and centuries old struggle for womankind to participate on the same footing of the man has got a generic name, that is women empowerment, women emancipation, and a lot in this way. And the patriarchal system, or this male dominated society, ordained that female have no right to claim as equal to man. But the movement, the practical time, the revolution, institutional, that the first, the world of ideas, we have French Revolution, 1789. And when the revolution ended, establishing equality, fraternity, and liberty in this world, the equality between man to man and among the people, without having any discrimination between rich and the poor. And this French Revolution in 1789, and after that, a constitution, a declaration of man's right was declared in 1789. And it is very stunning, it is very astonished at the point to talk here, that there was no name of woman mentioned here, only man, the rights of the man. And it was really the misleading constitution declared, and there happened anguish among the womankind, and some of the women being coming together revolted against this bill, this human right, this man rights bill. And one of the women belonging to the Republican, Revolutionary Republican Society wrote a letter. And after that, many women, revolutionary women, joined this movement. That why not women, only man, the rights of the man, why only rights of not, why not women? Women is also the integral part of our civilization. So why the name of the woman has been left in that declaration by the monarch? And the Parisian women, the French women, who were closely associated to this practical movement, institution, Women Revolutionary Republican Society, they made strong advocacy for the women's right. And again, the bill, the amendment was made. And in 1791, the rights of man and woman, this kind of act was enacted in 1791. So this is very epoch-making event, that women were also given the same right. And the preamble of this constitution, that is about 21 acts. In the first act, it started that women inborn free, women inborn free, and they should be given the right, equal rights as the man. And this preamble, and after that, in the article 6, there is a description of law. Law does not discriminate between man and woman. Both are the human beings. Both should be treated equally in the eyes of the law. So law does not discriminate. It is here in the article 6, it is referred that in this way, the Parisian women, linking with the political coordination of French monarch or French administration government, raised so many questions, and that is why at the first time in this world, any amendment through the bill was issued and reissued, and women got, because they were very revolutionary, they connected themselves, they made their coordination with the political link, and they got this success in this way. So this is the French at the first time in the on the soil of the French France, the women agitation for their equal right, because the women have been suffering a lot. They have no any position before the mankind, but the French or the country France has enacted amendment. And after that, just before the French Revolution, a new country, America, USA, the Declaration of Freedom for USA in 1776, and in that country also, in America, the second president, John Adams, he also made so many discrimination between man and woman, not only that to be the president, but the whole administration of America, being the new country, but there was so many discrimination on the basis of male and female. But the wife of the president, Mrs. Abigail, wrote a letter, and she wrote a long passage: liberation, women's freedom, or to remove the indignity, inequality between man and woman. So the wife of Mr. John, um, the wife of John Adam, the then president of America, she wrote that I long to hear that you have declared the words I am quoting here. Quote, I long to hear that you have declared independency by the way of the law, but remember the ladies. Remember the ladies who are more generous and favorable to them, than your ancestors. And if any disparity will be made by you in the act of the country, we will foment a rebellion against the government. It was the version of Mrs. Abigail, the wife of then President John Adams. And it created a strong voice for the womankind. So from the side of France and from the side of America and from other countries also, the voice for womankind started in this way. And after that, it is 1789, 1791, and a book came in this world that is really the constitution, to be called the constitution for the humankind, because that book is the vindication of women's rights, written by Wollstonecraft, a British feminist, a great ardent British feminist. And that book brought a revolution in the field of women revolution for their freedom, for their liberty, for their equality, for their dignity. And this book in 1792, here it is 1789, 1791, again 1792, the book, the constitutional book for the agitation of the humankind, came, written by a great British feminist, scholar and philosopher, Wollstonecraft. And that book, The Vindication of Human Rights, that I will discuss later on. But something here I want to tell about the other philosophers, socio-economic philosopher of this world, who is well known, who has changed the total economic scenario, total social economic scenario. I mean to point here that social economic scenario of this world was changed by one or two great philosophers, Marx and Engels. They are social, political, economic philosophers. They read the situation of the mankind, the human beings, because man is one of the part of the human beings, women is also the parts of the human beings. They searched out the causes of the suffering of mankind as well as humankind, means the total humanity, why it is suffering. And this explanation, its response, its answer has been searched out by these two great philosophers, Marx and Engels. And they thought that in this system, in this capitalistic system, man is suffering. But woman is suffering by this side for another couch. And this couch, they pointed that Engels wrote very clearly that women are also the parts of civilization. They should be treated in the same way as man is treated, and there should be no any discrimination. Angels at the first times, uh, and he has given so many examples, and he told that this in this monogamian family, in this monogamian family, the woman is taken to be the first servant of the house, and house is a private service. It is a private service, and in which woman is the first servant of that house service. And how, what kind of exploitation angels had in it. And Marx also appreciated this angels writing. So this is one way what we should come to know that Mars and Angel's opinion about it. And now this is the just the history I have relayed about the women's agitations or the gender's indignity, gender's discrimination, or gender's defaulting responses which have ruined this world because as we know that many of the philosophers even today they have told that human class has covered, the women have covered the half of this sky. And not only this, but a great Canadian feminist and philosopher, Margaret Atwood, has told that reading and studies of gender or the human studies does not mean that that girls pushing of the boys off the roof, but it means believe practically it has been not given, women are not given due respect any time. And this is the count. So many theorists, many philosophers, many thinkers, starting from Wollstonecraft, it is Wollstonecraft, it is 1792. So Wollstonecraft, Wool two to um, present, the present thinker, Alan Sowalter, and others, it has covered a long history, and they have tried their best to explain the socio-economic, social, cultural, political backgrounds of women's suffering. And they have explained their causes, and they have explained, they have propounded the philosophy, the concept, the ideologies, because the ideas and concept what I have started from 1789 and much before that, not in a written, but because society, when society was born, and it was naturally that men and women were, both were there. So, but in written, the actual agitation started in 1789 from, and the first book that is supposed to be the first constitutional book for the women's right, written by Wollstonecraft, and presently Margaret Atwood and Ellen Sowalter. It covers a long time, and it has propounded so many issues and theories that have helped us or helped womankind to combat all kinds of indignities, inequalities. So the here I want to distinguish between two types of concept propounded by the philosopher, propounded by the critics of womankind. The literature written by the male writers, written by the man writer, and now the literature about this issue, women's right, women's equality, women's justice, gender justice, a lot of the synonymous words I am referring here because it is the task, the topic assigned to me is core concept of gender evolution. How the evolution of how the progress of women's agitations, women's revolution for the cause of their liberty. So this point I am discussing here. So it is natural that the writers or the thinkers or the philosopher who are reading the books written by the writers of the past, in spite of belonging to male categories, male writers, we have to read them. But we have to read them, reread them, we have to evaluate them, you have to re-evaluate. So restructuring of the literature of the past time on the issue of womankind. This is the first point. What the critic has told, what the critic has strongly propounded, that every writers of the present time or every philosopher and thinkers of the present time have to go through the literature of the past, text of the past, and reading after that, they have to write themselves on this issue. So a lot of most of women writers today, they are writing on women issues, and not only in Indian English writing, but in English writing in European countries, England, America, and other Ireland, everywhere, out of India also, many feminist writers in literature. They have written the issues of womankind, as I can name some of them belonging to the other countries, particularly of England, America, Canada, Africa. They are suppose that the Virginia Woolf, A Room of Her Own. This is a novel that is dealing with women's sentiment. And not only this, but in Victorian age, because as we know that in 1792 a book came, and after that the writing on women, because the bill, the act was implemented in France, act was implemented in America, in Britain, everywhere, and there was the severe demand for the women's suffrage. It was everywhere demanding that the suffrage or the franchise right to vote should be given to the women. But it is a very stunning fact that after a long period, after the First World War and Second World War, the world faced two world wars. But after the First World War, after having a long and continuous struggle for this franchise from the time of 1789 to 1918, the over of the First World War, the franchise was given to the womankind. How it is astonishing that why only the mankind should have been given the franchise right to vote, but womankind have been given the vote after the First World War, right to vote. So it is very astonishing fact that how the patriarchal domain is prevailing over the womankind, how the root of the patriarchy is strong, that even today in this world, we find that because many philosophers, they have told that women are suffering not at the hand of their husbands, but at the hands of their sons, their fathers. So they are suffering everywhere. They are treated because in the middle of the 19th century, the Victorian time, the feminine writers, George Eliot, and so many after that, Thomas Hardy, and in the beginning, Bronte's sister, Charlotte, Charlotte Bronte, they wrote John Eyre, in which she dealt with the women's situations at the time. And she has discussed how the woman is being exploited. She has expressed very clearly and frankly. So Charlotte Bronte is a very dominant feminine writer of the Victorian age. And in this way, the Victorian age, so many Charlotte Bronte and other two sisters, and George Eliot, Thomas Hardy, uh, and other so many have written so many poems. And talking about the Indian English writing on the subject gender, on the subject feminism, feminism is a strong and very fertile subject for the Indian writers to write in English, even in other languages. But English writing on the topic of the feminism is actually and really very important to discuss. And Indian English writing, it not only in fiction, not only in novel and prose story, but in poetry also. I would like to remind a poem by Kamala Das, Siddesan, in which she has described how a woman is confronting with two ideas, the traditional code of living, traditional norms, traditional way, and present way. Traditional, um, she has discussed that women are no longer going to tolerate this traditional dogmatic way of life. She would have some rights. In fiction, I have to tell that so many rights. Anita Desai is a strong advocate for the women's liberty. Atia Hussain, Ruth, Nain Tara Sagal, and just I'm going to take up the three novelists, and they are actually they are put on the level of English novelists so far as contents form is concerned. They have got the artistic perfection. They are R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao, Mulk Rajanand, Raja Rao, R.K. Narayan. And just I want to take the three novels of R.K. Narayan: The Dark Room, The Guide, The Painter of Sign. In these three novels, my synopsis, my lecture, based on these three, how R.K. Narayan was much aware of European movement for womankind. He was much aware of that. And his writing covered both pre-independence era and after independence, pre-independence and post-independence, both. And these three novels, in which he has explained, he has brought the concern of womankind, how women are being exploited. Women, because in in the novel, The Dark Room, Savitri is protagonist, she the heroine of this novel, and she suffers a lot. She is being exploited by her husband. But she is she is no longer going to tolerate it. She makes a revolt against her husband. And for some time she agrees to break her relation with that Ramani, the name of her husband. And after the breaking of her relation with her husband, she makes her point that for having no any couch, I am being exploited by that Ramani. And so I have broken this relation. But she is something tolerable, timid kind of woman. And again, she comes back to her husband after the humiliation. So it is the neither the fulfillment of the revolutionary attitude of that Savitri, because she makes some compromise. But this unfulfilled rebellious attitude that I want to discuss through the way of the strong character in the novel, The Guide. And this novel, The Guide, is a classical novel. And this was awarded many times in India and out of India also. Roji is a character who covers, who fulfills the half done work of Savitri in the first novel that I have discussed, The Dark Room. And she is an MA in economics. She is a well-read woman. She was married to Marco. Marco is also well-read MA slavery to freedom. From bondage to freedom, liberty. It is the point that is prevailing everywhere. Either the book written by the feminine philosopher, feminine critics, feminine thinkers, theorists, or the books written by the artist, novelist in fiction. The theme or the concern dictated by the poet in their poems, in the drama. Just I have a reminiscence of English drama in the modern age, where Henry Gibson, an Irish dramatist, Doll's House, the name of the drama, in which Nora, the protagonist of this drama, has started telling that Nora would be no longer a doll now in this house. She has broken every chains of slavery. And this Nora, in English drama also. And what to tell about South drama, great drama, can all the everywhere we find that Candida has been put in a test, acid test. The two persons, two men, one is her husband and another is her lover. Both are put before her, and she has been asked to choose one of them, but she has chosen her husband because he is a weaker. She has chosen her husband, Marchbanks, Morel, because he is a weaker. So it is the tendency of the woman, it is the situation of the time that to choose the weaker so that their liberty or their freedom and their intention will go flourish in this world. So, and after that, just I have discussed Roji. Roji, uh, who leaves her husband, joins the joins her the person whom she likes much, who helps Roji in her ambition, getting her ambition. But finally, she rejects Raju also. Although it is another thing that he was charged for the forgery, but Roji is not a girl who is bound to any rock, either with her husband, if husband whom she does not like, because um, we can say that Savitri has declared that I am also Savitri in the dark room. She has declared um, before the society that we the human are human beings. We the human are human beings, and you cannot kick us whenever you will like. We have the rights, we have the ability, we have the so all the things, the qualities what the man have. Because the two important questions have been often raised by the philosophers, thinkers in this world. Because being a woman, being a man, this is biological biological phenomena. We cannot have any right to change this biological factor. But we are the women's suffering, women's exploitation is not the case, is not the thing for the biology is responsible, but it is our social, political, economic, and our traditional thinking. They are responsible. We have to change it. So the writing, feminine writing, feminist writer among all, I have to discuss one or two. The first one, present Canadian thinkers and philosopher Margaret Atwood, which one line quotations, one line sentence I discussed earlier of my lecture, that women here, the female study or women study does not mean that girls pushing the boys off the roof, but feeling of women are humankind too. Uh, Atwood has told many things about the human, and she has told that when a man tells something about any issue in this world, he is a man. Its importance is given because he is a man. But when a woman tells something, its importance is not given because he sees a woman. And this disparity among the intellectuals is certainly very cursing to this developing society or developed society. This is one point. And what Atwood very strongly advocates this point. And just before Atwood's pronouncement about the women's issues, um, uh, I have something has been left by me discussing while Narayana's novels. Two novels I have discussed. I have hinted at the revolutionary character of Savitri in the novel The Dark Room and the Roji in the Guide. And the Painter of the Sign, this is the third novel in which what has been left by Savitri and Roji in these earlier two novels has been completed by the third character in this third novel, that is the Painter of the Sign by Deji. And she has got also some breakage in her relation with her husband. And after the relation with breaking of her relation with the family whom she was married, she went out from the house and she became a character, unique character in this world, wandering from this side of our country to that side and preaching the about her own personal situation, preaching about the human's salvation, human's freedom and liberty. This character. So what Narayana has started through the way of discussing the character Savitri, it has been finished by the third character Deji in his third novel, what I have discussed here. And the one important point I am here, I have to discuss that in 1953, about a book was published, The Second Sex. It was a very important book, and this has apparently discussed the human's right. And this book has brought a revolution in the field of humans or feminist agitations, feminist movement. And in this book, The Second Sex, in which uh, the writer has written that humankind are, because it is not possible, natural to have any biological changing, but it is social, economic, cultural changing are needed to bring absolute dignity, equality, homogeneousness in the society, to bring the humankind on the same level, because what the works the humans have to do, they have to do, because it is not possible that, because what Angels even has told, that it is the antagonism, it is a great antagonist that women are breeding the children. It is natural, and I have no any objection that, but it is the critics' opinion that it is antagonism that women are breeding. But there is no any way left. Only this is the way. It is natural. But on side by this side, they should not treat it as the first servant of the house. It is not the private service factory that where women is to be taken as the first servant. So many points. Even and after the publication of this very book, The Second Sex, in 1953, another collection of books by the 8 philosophers in by the it was published by the institution, because it is a very uh, paradoxical time, it is a very revolutionary time, that something is to be taken off, something is to be taken in. So this kind of transitional period, because it is it is not a modern period, it is postmodern period, postmodernity, where the absolute confidence, self-reliancy of the humankind is growing completely. So in this period, a collection of books by the different philosophers published by a institution, the Hunter College, and this book has taken the this uh, what you call this feminine movement far ahead. And in this period, in the postmodern age, we have seen that the question is now being raised by the philosophers, that if the situation like this is going on, there will be complete equilibrium between man and woman, between male and female, and there will be no any discrimination on the basis of sex, on the basis of anything else, as we can hope. But one thing, at the last of my lecture, I would tell that we should have to pay the glory and respect to the humankind, so the peace and prosperity will flourish in this world, and there will be the heaven, there will be the complete heaven in which we have to live in, and this is the only way. So this is the core concept what I have delivered